So, hello everyone and welcome to my presentation at the Young Speakers Final today. So, before entering our presentation, I would like to have a small question. So, do you recognize what is this on the screen right now? Okay, Sophie. Yes, it's language, but what word is it? Just a single word, a very simple word. Yes, it's the word hello, but in different languages. So now I have a small game for you. I would say hello in different languages, and you will guess what language is that. So let's proceed to our game. So what is bonjour? Yes. Okay, Sophie? Yes, it's French. Okay, and guten Tag.
German.
Yes, it's German. And last one, Vietnam. Like everybody, what is hello in Vietnam? Like just say at the same time. Xin chào. Okay, so my big question is how do language shapes humanity? So after that small game, we recognize that in different languages we have different words for the just a simple phrase hello. So that's what shapes us humanity. So it's the diversity of language and how we use them to convey meaning. So we need to define something first. What is language? Language is a complex system of communication. That's how we talk, we write, or how we express our ideas, feelings, and how we connect with other people. And it consists of a set of symbols, sounds, or rules for us to convey our ideas. So why do language matters? The impact of language on humanity can be divided into three main areas: communication and expression, culture preservation, and how it affects on public opinion. So firstly, let's proceed to language as a tool for communication. So it enables us to communicate our thoughts, ideas, and needs. So imagine you go to a convenience store and you want to buy something. You need to tell the cashier that how much money does it cost and you want to buy that thing. So that's a simple way of us using language to express our needs and ideas. And also it allows us to show our feelings, emotions, and attitudes. So now imagine you're talking to a friend and you ask, hey, how are you? I'm okay. Do you think that friend is really okay? Of course not, because like the tones and the voices and also the speed when someone talks can express their feelings or emotions at the time. So when you talk to somebody, just pay attention to their voice or tones so that you can recognize if they are sad, happy, or even angry. And lastly, it's in education. So a huge amount of knowledge comes from textbooks or articles. So if you go to a class, you must read textbooks so you can have more knowledge and you can understand the lesson better. And also when you go study abroad, you need to understand the language. So imagine you going to USA. If you don't understand English, can you study at there? Of course not, because all the books use English. So if you don't understand one language, you cannot understand the whole thing at that country. So next is how language shapes public opinion. So this is Winston Churchill. Do you guys know who is it? Yes. So he is the former president of the Great Britain, and he was the president during the World War II. So what he did is he gave speeches to encourage people to stand up and fight against Hitler and Nazi Germany. And now this is a cut of the speech "We Shall Never Surrender" given by him.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender!
Okay, so did you see a small cut from the speech, "We shall never surrender"? So how does it affect on the British people? So as you know, Winston Churchill, he got a symptom called dyslexia. So he cannot speak or talk or even read easily. He needs a lot of help in his childhood to become like a great speaker in his adulthood. So what did he do to affect the heart of the British people? He encouraged them by giving speeches and tell them that if we stand up and we fight, we can achieve victory and we will bring great honor to our country. So that's how language affects the social or public opinion. So Mr. Martin, as a citizen of England, what do you think about the speech of your former president?
Prime Minister, not America.
Oh, yes.
So, thank you. As the honorary British person at ICS, he's very, very, very famous in the UK, and the myth around him is that his speeches are what won the Second World War, whether it's true or not, but the power of his speeches is seen as being the thing that swung the war in the favour of the UK against the Germans.
Yes. So that is the way that languages affects us human. So if somebody, they use their language to like tell us to do something, try to listen careful of the ideas they're trying to express, and you may recognize something that may be useful for you in the future. And last one is language help in preservation of culture. So this is cuneiform and it is the first language on earth. So do you understand what is the writing here? Yes, of course you don't understand because it was really a long time ago, like in the 3500 before Common Era, like about 5,000 years ago. And it was just some random symbols that they consist very simple meaning. But the Mesopotamian, the people who developed this, they mostly used this to convey every meaning about their life, their daily life. Like it stores the traditions, then the values of the Mesopotamian. For example, this is the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's the first book on earth, and it was like a poem about a king, Gilgamesh, finding eternity. So like, it was fully written in cuneiform, and the translator, they needed like a very long time to translate this and convey the meaning. But that's how it's unique, because it stores the traditions and values of a whole culture of Mesopotamia. So how about endangered languages in Vietnam? So in the Northwest, we have like a lot of races and ethnic minority. So they use like unique languages and they are very special. Sometimes we don't understand what they're speaking, but they are now currently endangered because like only hundreds to dozens of people speak them right now. So our job is to protect them from being endangered, because when a language dies, the whole culture dies with them. So if we don't want to lose the races in Vietnam, like as you know, we have 54 races in Vietnam right now, and if the language they use die, they might die also, or they got assimilated to normal Vietnamese people, and they cannot keep their culture. But their basic way to convey culture is through their language. So if we don't protect their language, the culture might die with them. So let's go to the conclusion. So as you know, language is a common way for us, humanity, to develop like in the past, the present, and the future. Without the invention of writing, we cannot talk or simply connect with each other. Like we cannot use sign language, or we cannot develop into an international language we're using right now, such as English or Vietnamese. Like we are Vietnamese people, and we don't know how to express our feelings. Like, do you think we are still normal people? The things that make us human unique from other animals is by the development of language. We know how to express our ideas, thoughts, and needs for other people to understand. So if we don't work on it and protect languages, our cultures and traditions might go to an end. Like, and right now in the teenagers, like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they use a lot of slangs and like common words that BRB, IKR. So I think that is not very bad at all because it shortened the time using languages. But if we need to have like a stop of using that, if we don't want our cultures to go die, because English is a very beautiful language. So if we just use them as acronyms or slangs, it might lose its brightness and the future of language on humanity. So that's all my idea. Thank you for listening.
Cảm ơn Khai Tâm rất là nhiều về một phần trình bày rất là tự tin và cũng như rất là lôi cuốn về chủ đề là ngôn ngữ, cái sức mạnh của ngôn ngữ như thế nào trong thời đại hiện nay. Và thầy chắc là Khai Tâm đang cảm thấy rất là nhẹ nhõm sau khi là mình đã trình bày xong cái phần trình bày của mình rồi, đúng không? Vậy thì so right now we move on to our Q&A section. So can I please ask Mr. Khoa as a language expert? So can you share some of your thoughts about his opinions on the topic and also a question for Khai Tâm to answer?
Okay, thank you for the questions. And just to be clear, I'm not calling myself a language expert, but anyway. So I really enjoy your presentation. I'm a teacher of English language myself, so I was really fascinated by the way you love the language and you want to preserve different languages. One question should be, how do you think about a Vietnamese person speaking in English with an accent? Is it a bad thing? And I think there's another small questions about whether English, is it possible that English will become a language that everybody speaks in Vietnam?
So I will answer your first question first, like about the accents of Vietnamese people while they speak English. So the accents is what makes us unique. So different countries, they speak English, like the Indian accent is different, the Chinese, Korean or Japanese, they are all different. So that's what makes us unique among the people who are speaking English. Like, I know it's kind of hard to listen and understand, but it's also an important way to mark that we are Vietnamese. And even though we are using a foreign language, we still keep our uniqueness while we speak that language. And your small question, like about if all the Vietnamese will speak English in the future, like, I don't think it's possible because English is just like an international language for us to use them as a tool for international communication. So even though we all need to learn English for our future to be bright, but we still need to keep like a brightness about our native language, which is Vietnamese.
Thank you. And I see that Mr. Calvin Lam has something to say on your topic.
Tâm, nice to see you again on stage.
Yes.
Do you foresee one day, however distant that may be, where we become a uni-language world, where the single English is universally spoken everywhere in the world?
Okay, so in my opinion, I think that is a really good point of view because, like, as you know, right now, English is like an international way for communication. If you go to another country, the only language that you may know to talk to them is English. So maybe a word of all of us speak English is not far away. But as I said before, we all have the brightness of our native speaker and we are different races and different cultures. So a word that we all know English to speak is not far away. But not all of us just speak only English, because we still have our native language as a way, so we have the same races and we can use them as a way for us to communicate with each other without any like regulations or like from the outside. Just us Vietnamese, we use Vietnamese. But if we talk to somebody else from a different traditions, like Mr. Martin or Mr. Matt, we need to use the language they understand or like a language that we both understand. So in different situations, we can use English. But if we're just talking to us like Vietnamese, we can use our native language instead of using English.
Alright, I think it's deep enough from your questions. Và chúng ta thấy rằng là khi mà chúng ta có thể giao tiếp với tất cả mọi người ở trên thế giới thì ngôn ngữ tiếng Anh nó sẽ là một ngôn ngữ chính để chúng ta có thể được xem như là một công cụ. Còn nếu mà chúng ta nói chuyện với những người Việt Nam là người Việt Nam thì chúng ta nên giữ cái bản sắc dân tộc của chúng ta để chúng ta có thể trò chuyện, để chúng ta có thể gìn giữ được cái ngôn ngữ là tiếng mẹ đẻ của chúng ta là tiếng Việt. Cảm ơn Amber rất là nhiều, cảm ơn Khai Tâm rất là nhiều về phần trình bày của con.